Hello, and welcome to my channel, the channel where we rank everything from movies to music to memes. In this video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 famous speeches of all time. These are the speeches that have inspired millions of people, changed the course of history, and left a lasting impact on the world. Whether they were delivered by politicians, activists, athletes, or celebrities, these speeches have one thing in common. They are powerful examples of the art of persuasion and rhetoric. So without further ado, let's get started with our countdown. Number 10. Theodore Roosevelt, Duties of American Citizenship. Theodore Roosevelt was the 26th President of the United States and one of the most influential leaders of the progressive era. He was also a prolific writer and speaker, who delivered hundreds of speeches on various topics. One of his most famous speeches was given in 1883, when he was a young state legislator in New York. He addressed a group of farmers and businessmen in Buffalo, and urged them to take an active role in civic life. He argued that every citizen has a duty to participate in politics, to uphold the law, and to work for the common good. He also warned against the dangers of corruption, apathy, and selfishness. He said, "The people who say that they have not time to attend to politics are simply saying that they are unfit to live in a free community. The first duty of an American citizen, then, is that he shall work in politics. His second duty is that he shall do that work in a practical manner. And his third is that it shall be done in accord with the highest principles of honor and justice." Number 9. Winston Churchill. We shall fight on the beaches. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II and one of the greatest wartime leaders of all time. He is widely regarded as one of the finest orators of the 20th century, who've used his words to rally his nation and allies against Nazi Germany. One of his most famous speeches was delivered on June 4, 1940, after the British evacuation from Dunkirk. Number 8. Lou Gehrig, Farewell to Baseball Address. Lou Gehrig was one of the greatest baseball players of all time, who played for the New York Yankees for 17 seasons. He was known as the Iron Horse for his durability and consistency, as he set a record for playing 2,130 consecutive games. However, in 1939, he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a fatal disease that affects the nervous system. He was forced to retire from baseball at the age of 36. On July 4, 1939, he gave his farewell speech at Yankee Stadium in front of a crowd of over 60,000 fans and teammates. Number 7. Demosthenes, the third Philippic. Demosthenes was a Greek statesman and orator who lived in the 4th century BCE. He is considered one of the greatest speakers of ancient times, who mastered the art of rhetoric and persuasion. He is best known for his speeches against Philip II of Macedon, who was expanding his empire and threatening the independence of the Greek city-states. Demosthenes delivered a series of speeches called the Philippics, in which he urged his fellow Athenians to resist Philip's aggression and defend their freedom. The most famous of these speeches was the Third Philippic, given in 341 BCE. Number 6. Chief Joseph, Surrender Speech. Chief Joseph was the leader of the Nez Perce tribe, who lived in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. He was known for his wisdom and diplomacy, and for his resistance to the U.S. government's attempts to force his people to relocate to a reservation. In 1877, he led his tribe on a long and perilous journey across 4 states, trying to reach Canada and join other Native American allies. Along the way, they fought several battles against the U.S. Army, but were eventually outnumbered and surrounded. On October 5, 1877, Chief Joseph surrendered to General Nelson Miles near the Bear Paw Mountains in Montana. Number 5. John F. Kennedy, Inauguration Address. John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States and one of the most charismatic and influential leaders of the modern era. He is remembered for his vision and achievements in domestic and foreign policy, as well as for his assassination in 1963. One of his most famous speeches was his inauguration address on January 20, 1961, when he took office as the youngest elected president in U.S. history. He addressed a nation that was facing many challenges and opportunities at home and abroad, such as the Cold War, civil rights, poverty, and space exploration. He called for a new era of cooperation and service among Americans and among nations. Number 4. Abraham Lincoln, Gettysburg Address. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States and one of the most revered figures in American history. He is best known for leading the nation through the Civil War, preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, and promoting democracy. One of his most famous speeches was given on November 19, 1863, at the dedication ceremony of a national cemetery at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where one of the bloodiest and most decisive battles of the war had taken place 4 months earlier. He spoke for only 2 minutes, but delivered one of the most eloquent and profound speeches in history. Number 3. Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream. Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights leader and Nobel Peace Prize laureate who dedicated his life to fighting for racial equality and justice in America. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential and inspiring figures of the 20th century, who used his words and actions to challenge the status quo and mobilize millions of people for change. One of his most famous speeches was given on August 28, 1963, at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. He addressed a crowd of over 250,000 people and shared his vision of a society where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Number 2. Nelson Mandela, I Am Prepared to Die. Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid activist and politician who spent 27 years in prison for his opposition to the racist regime. He later became the first democratically elected president of South Africa and a global icon of peace and reconciliation. He is widely admired for his courage, integrity, and compassion. One of his most famous speeches was given on April 20, 1964, at the Rivonia trial, where he faced charges of sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. He spoke for nearly 4 hours, defending his actions and explaining his political philosophy. He concluded with these words, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve." But if number 1, Mahatma Gandhi, quit India. Mahatma Gandhi was a leader of the Indian independence movement and a pioneer of nonviolence resistance against British colonial rule. He is widely regarded as the father of the nation and a spiritual and moral guide for humanity. He is also known for his simple and humble lifestyle, his devotion to truth and justice, and his compassion for all living beings. One of his most famous speeches was given on August 8, 1942, at the Gowalia Tank Maiden in Mumbai, where he launched the Quit India movement, a mass civil disobedience campaign to force the British to leave India. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Also, let us know in the comments below what you think of these speeches and which one is your favorite. Thank you for watching.